Well, tá anna hosarm gon majin shall Ailish Considine agus bua intach ag an Ger Shachtana. Ailish, you're the first Irish woman to have won a premiership in the AFLW, but how does it feel after that great performance in round 5 and 2 goals from yourself?
Yeah, look, it's we've had a few as a team, and have had really good performances for the past 5 rounds. So obviously that's very rewarding after a tough pre-season, and I was just fortunate to be on the end of the moves for the 2 goals this week. Usually it's someone else, so I've had the look of the Irish I think this week, and just been on the end of some great teamwork and some great movements throughout the game. So yeah, it's obviously nice to get some goals in the games, but yeah, it's just collective effort always from the girls.
Ailish, do you feel that you're most comfortable there in the full forward position? I know obviously after the 2 goals you'll probably say you are, but is that where you'd like to be and coming into round 6 as well?
Look, it probably feels pretty natural to be in the forward line for me, but I think to be honest, where I'm really feeling most at home at the moment is on the wing, and that's predominantly where I've played most of my football this season, and even a little bit in the pre-season as well, off a little bit of halfback as well, and a little bit in forward. But yeah, it's always nice to get back into the forwards every now and again. But yeah, definitely, I think throughout the past couple of seasons, I think I'm really starting to figure out that the wing position is something that I really like, and I'm starting to feel a lot more comfortable in.
Ailish, the Crows are one of the most established teams in the AFLW, but how tough has it been in terms of competition for places and getting a starting place in this year's Premiership? Extremely, if I'm being honest, it's one of the toughest squads to break into, because the talent pool is just incredible. Like, you're looking at missing our captain Chelsea Randall for last weekend and for a game previous as well, and the girls that have just slotted in, and she's obviously an incredible player and one of the best in the comp, and the way the girls have just slotted in and played the past couple of weeks without her, and without some of the other girls that we've lost through COVID and that kind of thing. It's just, the squad is unbelievable. The strength and depth that's there between youth and experience. It's a very difficult squad to break into, and you kind of go into the season, for me anyway, especially, kind of knowing that you're kind of on the fence a little bit. You don't know if you're going to get a game, or if you're not going to get a game. It's difficult because the talent is so high. So obviously that's a tough spot to be in, but everyone improves each other by the training standards and working hard, because you do have to work hard to try and make your spot on the team, and collectively everyone is working hard, so that means everyone is improving week in, week out, even without games in our training sessions. So yeah, it's an incredibly difficult squad to get into, but it's a credit to, and it's great to be part of it, and be in such a setup and a squad. Ailish, it must have been a big boost, I suppose, coming up against Melbourne. You beat them. They had been unbeaten previous to that, but has it really changed the confidence of the team? And with 5 rounds now, some of the teams have games in hand. It has been different with COVID, but do you see that after round 5 there's a bigger confidence in the Crows team?
Yeah, for sure, because we looked at the season from the get-go, and knowing that we had to get 7 wins under our belt, and that would pretty much barring any major catastrophes, that would get us into the final stages of the season. So being 5 games in and having 5 from 5 is just an incredible stat to have at this stage. And I think coming up against Melbourne was a really big test, because we knew that they had won all their games as well, and they were really an informed team. And I think we knew that they were really going to bring it to us here in Adelaide. And yeah, getting the win out of that game and performing like we did with the pressure that we had, the contest method, everything that we brought to that game was a lot of belief into the girls and how everything can click together. And structural wise, while we're not always getting it 100%, I think our work rate and pressure around the ground is really contributing to getting those things a little bit better. And yeah, the performance, and they really came at us. They came back at us and really gave us a scare towards the end. But I think even just being able to hold out and push on in the last quarter was something that that gave us a little bit more confidence in terms of the work that we have done through the preseason, because to be honest, it has been one of the toughest preseasons that we've put down in terms of all the kilometers we've ran. So I think it was on a lot of different aspects, it gave us quite a bit of confidence for the rest of for the remainder of the season, and for the games coming ahead.
Last season, Ailish, against the Brisbane Lions, there had to have been disappointment after that. But do you think that had an impact on maybe pushing the team more? You mentioned the tough pre-season and maybe trying to get that motivation then for what you can do this year.
Yeah, of course. Like it was obviously going to be a huge factor in our preparation for this year. It hurt a lot, and we were outplayed on the day by a better team, and that's a bitter pill to swallow. On a home ground at Adelaide Oval. So it was a difficult loss to take, and I think a lot of the girls have really taken that into this season and brought the hurt with them, and started to move on from that, and go that one step further, do those 1%ers, get that extra bit to try and be the best team out there. So yeah, it's definitely been used as a drive, and Brisbane are obviously a very strong team again this year, and we had a surprise round one against them. Obviously not supposed to play them in round one, but we were fortunate to get over the line there. But they're an extremely good side, and yes, for sure, the hurt of the grand final from last year has definitely been a drive for us this year.
And Ailish, in terms of games you're looking forward to, Fremantle definitely seems to be a derby that's going to be an important one this year. And Anya Ty, I'm sure you're delighted to see another Irish player back. But in terms of looking at them, is that something that you're pushing towards? I suppose they're round 8, I think, that you have ahead of you.
Yeah, so we're due to play them over in Western Australia for round 8, and of course having all the wins under their belt, they really are a team in form, and Anya has been absolutely flying for them, and it is absolutely brilliant to see her back and playing so well week in, week out. It's a credit to her and the work that she's done over the past 2 years, because she had quite an unfortunate start to her AFLW campaign, and it was actually in the game against us. It was a trial game against us where she initially hurt her knee. So it's it's brilliant to see her back playing, and I'm looking forward to actually hopefully getting the chance to play against her again. But yes, definitely Fremantle is while we're not looking ahead too far, we're kind of taking it week by week, because you can really do with COVID at the moment here. But it's definitely in the back of our minds that we do have a tough game coming up against Freo, and we'll both be vying for a massive win on that occasion.
Ailish, how glad are you that you took that chance, that opportunity for your rookie start to go out there and to be in Australia? I know it has been different. I'm sure there have been challenges as you've gone out, but how glad are you that you took that opportunity and started that Irish trend, I think, for all the rest of the girls?
Yeah, I don't regret it any bit. Like, it's been the best decision I've probably made so far in my life. And like you said, obviously been ups and downs. There's been non-selection. There's been series of unfortunate events between dog bites, everything that goes with it in the past couple of years and stuff. But no, it's been an incredible journey. I think even at the start of this season, I was like, just thinking to myself, I was like, wow, I'm heading into season 4 of AFLW. This just doesn't seem real. And I think it kind of brought me back to my first season, when I remember walking into them. There's a wall as you walk into the gym upstairs, and it has the list of player names and the numbers beside them, and when they represented the club. And I remember turning to Phil Harper when he was bringing me around the club, and I was like, if I could just get my name on that wall, because if you get your name on that wall, you've played a game for Adelaide Crows. And I think that was just the dream for me in my first season. And the fact that I'm looking back on that 4 seasons in, a premiership to my name, and almost last year, but just been fortunate to play in it. But it's been an incredible journey so far, and I think it's great how many Irish have come over and given it a go and really impacting the competition since. And I think I was fortunate to see Cora Staunton do it the year before me, and see how well she had done. And it's just been an absolute whirlwind, but definitely by far the best decision I've made.
Ailish, in the first round this year, there were 2 cruciate injuries, and since then we've seen a lot of different injuries. You mentioned yourself you had been without players going into the Carlton game. Ashley McCarthy is out for the range of the season. Do you think the game has gotten more physical, or what do you think the reason is for maybe the amount of injuries we're hearing about, or the different severity of them as well?
Yeah, look, it's hard to know. Like, there's obviously women in sport are a higher ratio of doing an ACL due to genetical factors and all that kind of thing that goes with it. But yeah, like, the speed of the game has definitely improved. The physicality of players has definitely improved, and I think that's from you've got 5 years years of the comp running, and you have players that have been in the system from the get-go, and they've been training at a high standard, and their physicality levels are just next level at this stage. And the players that are coming in are on preparation programs and all that kind of thing. So I think the strength of the individuals themselves and the speed at which players are traveling at the moment is just, it's next level, and it's reaching that level where it's only going to keep rising. So I think, unfortunately, while we're playing a little bit of catch up because it is only a half yearly season, unfortunately we've got 6 months off, and we're trying to prepare in that time for a short 6 month comp, which is absolutely rising so quickly. The standard, just even since I've started, has it's gone through the roof. So I think that probably has a lot to account for in terms of just the speed at which it's progressing, and we're all trying to play catch up in terms of getting ourselves right physically and in every other way too.
Ailish, I know there's a strong tradition of sport in the family with Emer, of course, it's rugby, and I know your mother Kay is definitely going to be hoping that you're steering clear of injury, but there was a worrying time for you, obviously, and going through concussion as well. But in terms of your hopes and kind of aspirations for this season, what's the next goal you're putting ahead of yourself? I know you're saying it's one game at a time from it, but where in the game, I suppose, do you want to most focus on, or even players you'd like to come up against?
Yeah, I guess for me, it's just literally trying to keep the consistency that I have at the moment going, and that's one of the hardest things, because it's a very inconsistent game. When you throw an oval ball into the mix, everything becomes inconsistent. So I think for me, just trying to grow into the position a bit more of wing, half forward, half back, wherever that brings me. And I think that's probably one of the main goals, is just feeling more comfortable in that position for me. And just trying to keep that consistency going, and take the opportunity when it comes, because it doesn't always come in Adelaide, because the caliber of players that we have. And as for coming up, I think overall, 5 wins from 5. I think we're pretty hopeful with the reaching finals and that kind of thing. So that's obviously in the back of our mind as you progress through the comp, but we've been forewarned to always take it game by game. So I think at the moment where we're looking is Western Bulldogs at Norwood on Sunday, and that's the focus for now on, and even bring it even shorter to training tomorrow night, which is our main session of the week. We can only do one main session during the week on a Wednesday, and then the rest is kind of just either recovery on a Monday or your little bit of prep on a Friday night. So it's very short-term goals for me. I think I don't ever look too far ahead, and my mother would would laugh at that also. So I keep it very short-term in terms of what I look ahead to. So week by week for me, it's mainly, and obviously with the major goal in mind for all of the teams involved is to get to that grand final day and hopefully lift the cup.
Brilliant. Well, Ailish, thanks a million for talking to us, for taking the time out, and the best of luck in round 6 against the Bulldogs and in the rest of the season.
Thanks so much.